And we're back with some more Project Zomboid trailer trash. Chloe's just sitting on her roof watching the sunrise, because today is a very special day. Today is the 29th of June, and that means we've survived an entire another year in Project Zomboid. The end of one thing, the beginning of another. So this is the end of year 2 of trailer trash, and we're going straight into year 3. This is definitely the longest I've ever had a character survive in Project Zomboid, and the fact that we've done it with sprinters, I think that's pretty damn awesome. Now that we've finally started planting marijuana and tobacco, hopefully we can start using that to be not so reliant on zombie deaths for cigarettes. So the plan today is to just take it easy, celebrate, and I figured I might try to share some of the things I've learned across this run. So for someone who wants to survive a year, 2 years, or even a month, and whether you're up against sprinters or even slow shamblers, first piece of advice I'd have, and very intentionally the first piece of advice, is don't die. Now that might sound stupid, that might sound really simple and obvious, but it's actually a really important point. It means no matter what's happening, as long as you're not dead, or in the process of dying, things are going okay. If you're limping away from zombies with a bleeding foot through the snow and there's 50 of them back there, okay, well, you're not dead yet. Keep going. Keep limping away. Find somewhere to lose them in the trees. Try to get a bandage on that foot as quickly as possible. Rip up your shirt and some rags if you have to. Whatever. If you're being chased by 20 sprinters and there's a tall fence, you don't know what's on the other side. It's probably some more sprinters, but if the guys behind them, you are going to get you, go over the fence. Whatever you have to do to not die is what you've got to do. Second piece of advice, do not fight fair. The combat in Zomboid is not as janky as some new players think it is, but if you're going to kill 5,000, 10,000, 30,000 zombies, you might be giving most of these zombies the tiniest chance to take you out. Where possible, you don't even want them to have that roll of the dice. And at all times, you want to make sure their chance is as absolutely low as possible. Keep your moodles down, manage your weight, know your limits, and running over a single zombie that's facing the other way is totally okay. More of a meta one now, but don't play tired. Don't play tired, don't play drunk, don't play angry. I'm not saying you have to act like you're a professional gamer at the top of the game at every single moment, but if you're really half-arsing it, you're going to get your character killed, and you might feel like shit about that in the morning. So maybe don't do that. Another piece of advice is to try to get all your dumb deaths out of the way on shorter runs. So this means fall off a 4-story building so you learn to respect gravity and build some goddamn safety rails. Crash your car or have it break down in the middle of a horde so you learn not to drive it too fast and you learn to maintain it properly. Stand too close to a campfire or catch a piece of one of your own Molotovs so you learn that Zomboid characters are made out of thickened petrol and straw. You want to stay the hell away from fire. I'm not saying don't use it, but really respect it. Eat some mysterious berries or burnt food. It'll probably be fine. Spoilers, it won't be fine. I think those are the 4 really key deaths in Zomboid. And zombies aren't even in there. We've got gravity, velocity, fire, and food. Another good piece of advice for any run, especially for a long run, especially for a run with sprinters, be very mindful of your sandbox settings. What do you want your respawn rate to be? Do you want the zombies to hang out in groups of 3 or 4 or 5 or 10? Do you want there to be enough ammunition in the world that you can rely on it? If I went back to the start of this run and changed things, I would have set the erosion settings from the default 100 days all up to 500 days. So I would have gotten to enjoy a slower growth of all the trees around the world. And I probably would have changed the zombie infection to bite only. Not that you want to be getting scratched or lacerated that much anyway. And last, but maybe only second to don't die, have some goals. The first week, the first month in Project Zomboid is pretty well set. You're going to be kept on your toes and busy and doing things, depending on what settings you pick. But 9 months in, 15 months in, 2 years in, you're going to be set up somewhere. You're going to have, no matter how low your loot settings were, you're going to have plenty of resources by that point. If you want to keep playing, you need some reason to keep playing. So set yourself some goals. we have made this factory pretty damn beautiful in my opinion, but I still want to put up lighting all around the edges. I still have that entire second building to work on. We still have some rooms inside that we're not totally happy with. We want to move stuff up to the panic room in the attic, and very soon we want to build the most awesome hedge maze you've ever seen. And not to mention that at some point, sprinters or not, we're going to want to go into Louisville and conquer some of those enormous and interesting buildings. So we've got a lot to do. So whether you're trying to rack up that 6-digit kill count, trying to get a copy of every car in game, whether you're decorating, whether you're exploring, pick your thing and stick with it, and best of luck to you. I guess while we're on the topic of cars, there are some mods that you want to have installed at the start of your playthrough, and that will be a pain in the butt to include later. In our case, we didn't have our truck mod installed right at the start of the game. We installed it, I think, 30 or 40 episodes in. Unfortunately, by that point, we'd visited a lot of the likely places where some of those trucks would have spawned, or at least the places we thought they were likely to spawn. And that meant the trucks and the trailers were not eligible to spawn in those areas because they'd already been populated. I, for one, don't have any map extensions explored yet. I haven't been to Raven Creek or the West Point expansion, any of those sorts of things. I'm not sure which of those you would want to have at the start of the game or which might cause problems dropping right into the middle of a run. Oh well, that's enough of that. I'm sure there's more things I could say, but that's all that's coming to my head right now. So I think I'm going to go into a bit of a base tour now. For people who've been watching the series, I don't think there's anything there that you're not going to have seen already, but I am going to be comparing it to what the factory looked like when we first arrived, like 160 episodes ago. And it is really cool to always see the difference between the abandoned, decrepit crack house look of the factory and where we've got it now. I did one of these before, but looking back at it, that was approximately 100 episodes ago. So I figure it's worth doing again. Also, despite my own advice, I did make all these cookies with rotten milk, so hopefully that's fine. I did eat a test cookie yesterday and it seemed okay. That's terrifying. Son of a bitch! That sounds like there's quite a few somewhere. Layout of this building. I really want a cigarette. Okay, we'll be able to catwalk as its advantages. Sounds like there's someone over that way. Is we're not connected to that? No, there's someone back here. Those filing cabinets. Try to call things out to me. Lovely building. I think you'd need a mod to be able to clean all these walls properly. I wouldn't want to live in something that looked suspiciously like a crack house. Okay, so it sounded like this guy was upstairs there. I don't know why I'm clearing it, I could just go. I didn't know there was another story. God, I'm gonna go upstairs while there are things downstairs. Looks like you can't walk from one stair to the other. Oh God, what am I doing? Switch into the hammer. But they can be very dumb at times. Building's bigger than I thought. Again, that probably just makes it too big for a base. Oh, wood glue. Wood glue is always welcome. Okay, now we're going to have a look at some of the places not covered by that comparison, which is mostly the outside features of the base. So up here we have our little, I don't know, refugee camp, just in case we somehow find, you know, anyone that's still alive. They could stay here if we're not happy to bring them inside. This building, we've cleaned it, we've plastered the walls, but it's still entirely unused, so we've got to figure out what we're doing with that in year 3. We've got a bunch of these truck trailers around the place. Back here is our beautiful, beautiful graveyard. I'm being a bit careful with the footage here because keen viewers will notice some additional hedges as we're seeing the very edge of my new hedge maze, which I'm not up to yet in the videos. Same here, you see a little bit of the hedge maze there. It's big. Here's our road extension that we built all the way to connect us to the highway. Here's our athletics course. Very proud of the athletics course. I mean, it'd actually work well if you just want to gain sprinting. You just run around in circles, and it's a little bit more enjoyable than just, you know, than literally running in circles. You have to be careful not to hurt yourself, though. So don't be sprinting over low fences when you're tired or you're over encumbered. Some of the traits like clumsy might make that a bit of a problem as well. And yes, in Project Zomboid you can leap over single gaps, though it doesn't always end well. Here's our farm and our little extension for cannabis. I'm thinking of turning my farming settings way down, as in turning up how long it takes the crops to grow and turning down how much we get out of it. That would mean I'd have to make the farm significantly larger, I think. But that's something we could do in year 3. We put this entire door in that road. That's all brand new. We still haven't fully repaired this downstairs area, but it's a garage. It should look pretty beat up, I think. The crowbar, always looking nice. Our hedge maze now has, I think, like 200 little cars winding through it for no good reason. Okay, everybody, I'm going to leave it here. I want to thank you everyone who has watched one of my videos, liked one of my videos, subscribed to the channel, and especially everyone who's left comments on the videos. It's really inspiring and it does help. Where we're going for next in the run, we're going to build an enormous hedge maze. We've already cleared to Riverside, we've started looting hedges, we've got to steal about 400 more, and then we can build it, and it looks glorious. I'll catch you then. You have a great day.